Welcome to Holistic Happy Hour with today's topic of release into the unknown. We have 6 5-minute segments for you. What they're about, I have no idea. And we have a special guest with us today. We have Catherine Heimsfeld, psychic medium. But first up, we have Carrie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carrie Berkey, and I am the author of the Free Spirit Guidebook. And to kind of get us into this energy of the unknown, we're going to do a guided visualization. So I want you to sit up tall, close your eyes. I want you to do a couple shoulder rolls. Feel like you're starting to let go of heavy things you're carrying. Feel that release. And let your shoulders relax. So kind of staying with that theme of letting go of things that are heavy, let's connect with the breaths. You're going to do cleansing breaths, meaning you're going to inhale through your nose. You're going to exhale out of your mouth. If you like, you can even make that come out like a sigh. So you just inhale. And if you like, it'd be like, ah. So with each exhale out of your mouth, I want you to feel like you're letting go of things that are making you feel heavy, things that feel burdensome. And start to feel a little bit lighter with each exhale. So then you're going to begin to breathe only through your nose. So now shifting your energy here as you inhale, I want you to feel like you're inhaling white, sparkly light. You're starting to feel lighter with each inhale. Feel like the inside of your body, the space around your body, you're filling with white, sparkly light. So just keep imagining that with each inhale breath. And I'm going to count down from 10, helping you get in a more relaxed state. 10, 9, keep inhaling the beautiful white sparkly light. 8, 7, feeling lighter and lighter. 6, 5, feeling relaxed. 4, 3, your breath is starting to relax now. 2, 1. Allow your breath just to be relaxed. And I want you to imagine right now that you're just lifting up, floating up. You're feeling light up out of your seat, out of your home. Just feeling relaxed and light, floating up through the sky, past the clouds, leaving the Earth's atmosphere. And I want you to imagine now that you're up in the cosmos. You look around, there's stars everywhere. And you are just feeling filled with light, that white, sparkly light. And you just kind of start to move around, move your arms, move your legs, almost like you're dancing a little bit. You're light, you're feeling free. Up into this unknown area that you've never been before. And you look around and you see the bright light of the moon. You feel its silvery light on your face, on your body. And as you start to float around, I want you to start to notice that that white sparkly light that's within you and around you just starts to be what you are. And you kind of look down and you notice you look like a constellation. And you're changing shapes as you move around the cosmos. Maybe you even notice that you feel like you kind of strike a pose. See what that constellation that is you. And just feeling this connection that you're made of stars. Everything you need to know is within you. You just smile as you move around. We do a lovely spin around the moon. And just thinking to yourself that you can come here and be the stars anytime you want. So look around and then just start to feel yourself starting to just lightly moving down. The moon's above you now. And you start to feel more of your body being filled with that white sparkly light. And enter the Earth's atmosphere. You see clouds, you see the Earth, and you're slowly coming down back in your body, sitting where you're sitting, feeling lighter and more connected. And so anytime you feel stuck or you don't know where to go and you're trying to figure things out, remember that when you close your eyes and you kind of release into the unknown, that is where you will find the answers. So bring your awareness back to your breath. I want you to take a really deep inhale and hold it for either a count of 7 or a count of 11, whatever's more comfortable for you. Whenever you're ready, you're just going to exhale. Say to yourself, I am made of stars. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Okay, thank you so much. Next up, we have Kimberly.
Hi there, Carrie. Wow, thank you so much. What a fabulous remembrance that we are all made of star energy and to be able to connect with that. Hi, everyone. Kimberly Marsh coming in, astrologer, life and business coach. And today I'm going to be talking about 2 hot topics. The first one is Saturn's return to Capricorn, and the second is the lunar eclipse that we're having in Capricorn. So Saturn first entered Capricorn back in December of 2017 and has been there until March 21st of this year when it entered into Aquarius. On July 1st, Saturn retrograded back into Capricorn and will be there until December 16th of this year. So when it enters into Aquarius in December, it's going to be there for 2.5 to 3 years, and we'll start working on those Aquarian lessons again. In the meantime, this is very significant. As Saturn goes back into Capricorn, this is our opportunity to go back and take a deep look within our lives and to look at the bigger picture of the world and choose what we want to leave behind and what we want to take forward with us. So Saturn will be retrograde in Capricorn until September of this year. This is our opportunity to start cleaning out and weeding out everything that doesn't work for us, that doesn't serve us, that is no longer a part of our belief system, and release it. Then in September, when Saturn begins to move forward, again, still in Capricorn, but starts to move forward in Capricorn, that's when we really get to start choosing what it is to take with us. So now is the time for cleaning out and releasing, and then September is when we start to gather and sort of sow our seeds. So and this is taking place both personally within us and on the level of society and the world, the whole collective human race. This is happening right now. So September, again, like I said, that's when we get to start to move forward. And December, when Saturn re-enters into Aquarius, that's when we start another major transition on this planet. So interestingly enough, this lunar eclipse that we're having on July 5th is also in Capricorn. Again, there's more of that Capricorn energy being activated. So this lunar eclipse actually opposes the Cancerian sun. So this is a great time for release. With Mercury still in retrograde in Cancer until the 12th of this month, we must be willing to release into the unknown, because that is where we discover everything that is hidden from us, hidden by us, and by the world. So we can expect to see many hidden things surfacing within days of this eclipse. Many truths uncovered will be known. Now, this eclipse brings with it a very heightened sense of emotions and feelings. The whole spectrum of them will be experienced during this time. It's an excellent time for a good cry, for screaming in your pillow, for anything that you can do to really push out these emotions in a healthy way. This Capricorn energy asks us to release into the earth, to ground ourselves, to connect with Gaia. Gardening, digging in the dirt, walking on the earth, barefoot, sculpting clay, anything that gets you physically connected to earth energy is excellent right now. Activating your root chakra and strengthening your connection to the earth is the best way to release this energy. And as always, be safe, be well, and as much as possible for now, stay home. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Susan.
Hello. So release into the unknown. It's funny because when we release into the unknown, it gives us more space to be in touch with the truth of who and what we are, this fabulous spiritual human creative being. Releasing into the unknown gets us out of our head. It gets us out of the ego space, the ego that wants to try to control our world, control how people show up in it. I mean, I am great at going over a scenario in my head every which way so that I am prepared for any kind of confrontation that might come up. It's like an addiction, and I have to really consciously work on it to stop. For when we release into the unknown and embrace that unknown, it's telling the universe that we trust you. I trust in the universe. I trust that you got my back. I trust that my good is here for me now. And when we allow ourselves to step into that unknown space, that great mystery, and allow that to factor into our everyday life, our everyday experience, then that opens up avenues and channels of life to flow to us that we have never even imagined. Synchronicities start to happen that just give us a new perspective on our world. So releasing into the unknown gives us more freedom to expand, express, and enjoy our life. So there's this cool exercise that we can do that will help us release into the unknown, and that is setting up our unknown committee. So what the heck is that? Well, let's just play. And so if you would, close your eyes with me and take in a deep breath and bring your awareness into your third eye chakra. Just imagine you're standing there in the center of your third eye chakra, this space of your divine vision. And you're going to call forth a vision of yourself. Imagine what you would look like if you were free from having to control your life, if you were free from having to be on top of every detail, if you were free of these quick-fire judgments and anger that just pop up because people aren't behaving the way you think they should. Imagine that you're coming out from under that, like it's a heavy blanket. You're coming out from under that and you feel free. What does your countenance look like? What's the expression on your face? Are you smiling more? Are you glowing? So bring that vision of yourself. Just walk it up to your crown chakra. Imagine you're walking up to your crown chakra now. And as you're standing in the center of your chakra, you notice that there's a room off to the side. So go stand in the doorway of that room. And this room is where we're going to call forth a committee meeting, a committee of the unknown. So first, let's furnish that room. And so in a blink of an eye, like I Dream of Jeannie, just furnish that room with table, chairs, flowers, crystals, fountains, anything you want in this special committee room. And then take a seat at the table. And with your intention, we're going to call forth 3 spiritual guides for your highest and best that will help you be more in that unknown space, to embrace more of the unknown in your world. And you're going to have an expert guide for the material world, your emotional world, and your spiritual world. So with that intention, just sit back and allow it to happen. Let your spirit guides come forth. Maybe they'll come one at a time or all at once to that doorway, and invite them in Invite them in to come and sit down. You might get a dolphin or a unicorn. You might have an angel. You might have Ganesh or an ancestor show up. So just allow whoever shows up to be there. Welcome them, have them take a seat. And you can ask each one, what part of your world do they represent? Your material, your emotional, and your spiritual. And it's okay for you not to know how this all works. Just be open to the experience. Maybe a committee name will even come up for you. But welcome them and thank them for being here for this first brief meeting. And let them know that you will be back. You will call another committee meeting so that you can receive from them any support, any guidance. So thank them for being there, and stand up and walk again to the door, walk out. And imagine yourself walking now down to your heart chakra, your heart space. And feel yourself fully there in the core, in the center of your being. And let yourself just release into the unknowing of how that committee is going to work or show up in your life. But let yourself be excited to be open to see how they will be there in your world, how they will help you, how they will communicate with you. So take in a deep breath, smile, and open your eyes. And so as my committee helps me release my human know-it-all, we support you in releasing into the unknown. And next up, we have Catherine.
Thank you, Susan. My name is Catherine Heimsfeld. I'm a psychic medium living here in St. Augustine, Florida. And wow, that was so breathtakingly beautiful. Thank you, Susan, for that meditation. It was interesting. There's no coincidences, because the committee who showed up are people who've been talking to me for a while. For the past few weeks, I think, since these retrogrades have been happening, and even before that, I've been getting messages from people in the Pleiades, as well as ancient Egypt, and not really knowing what to do with that information. But, the type of channeling I do is really about soul contracts and helping people clear their ancestral trauma, clear away karmic issues. And, when we think of unknown, a lot of times these soul contracts or the true karmic lessons are hidden from us, and I do believe what Kimberly was saying is that collectively we're in a state of spiritual revolution. I mean, that's kind of my take on it from what my guides are telling me, and that people are being called to do their spiritual work now on a personal level in order to be able to ascend and raise their vibration as a collective. And it's manifesting in different ways for different people. I think for those of us who are light workers and empaths and healers already, the stakes are a bit higher, because we've been on this journey for a while, and now it's the time we've been waiting for. It's like, well, the time is now. You've been preparing your whole life for this. And actually, one of the oracle decks I use by Rebecca Campbell, called Work Your Light, has some beautiful cards to this effect. But basically, this is the time to work your light and show up in all your majesty. But, in order to do that, we have to clear away those little niggling, karmic issues and soul contracts that might have been blocking. And then there's the issue of everybody who maybe isn't a healer, or maybe they have spiritual gifts or divine gifts, and they're opening up to those gifts right now and having kind of paranormal experiences, having psychic experiences, having a lot of emotional dysregulation. And so I think for, healers, we're helping other healers, we're helping other people who are bumping up against their karmic issues and their soul contracts right now. And so when I think about the unknown and what these messages are from people in other galaxies, other constellations, I have a guide from ancient Egypt. I have a guide that's Native American, that helps me kind of as a warrior down here in the 3D, because the 3D is rough. You know, we have quarantines, we have riots, we have masks, we have people freaking out. I have clients who are passing away from drug overdoses. People are getting ill. Like there are people who are not able to make this passage on the 3D to level up their karma right now. It's just too much, and they're going to have to wait and get on the other side and come back. That's what I'm experiencing, at least. So what my guides are saying is, especially, you know, the extraterrestrial ones, is like, be gentle, bringing that love and compassion. For me, that's the biggest karmic lesson of all, is how can we bring love and compassion into these situations that are so very trying. You know, when people are dealing with karmic issues, I think, as Kimberly was saying earlier, yes, maybe you can bypass it if you learn the lesson in other ways. But most of the time, I don't know that that happens. I think people find themselves in these situations in so much pain. And as light workers and healers, we're facilitating people making sense of this pain, clearing this pain, showing up and saying the things they need to say to loved ones who are still here or who have passed on, connecting with ancestral trauma that they didn't know they had, but that's absolutely impacting how they live, breathe, and do life on a daily basis. So these are really difficult things that if you don't have a spiritual team, if you don't have tools, you know, it's going to be very confusing. So I think there's people in different stages of this, right? And so I guess, you know, what I've been spending time figuring out is, what is my particular gift to help usher in this ascension period? You know, and I believe that's kind of what it is helping people clear those soul contracts. And sometimes it's not what you think it is. You know, I have clients who say, well, I'll cut the cords, I clear the contracts, I've learned the lesson, boom, that person's out of my life. Sometimes no, they're in your life and you have to rise up and deal with them in a way that you never thought you had in you to deal with, you know, as far as loving and understanding them from such a higher view, which a lot of our guides and entities from other realms are able to have that perspective to help us, right, with that. But it's also love for ourselves. And I think that's the unknown, is when you clear that karma and those soul contracts and you become that light being down here on earth that you were intended to be. Wow. Like, you may have dreamed, envisioned yourself as that person, but, you know, you may not recognize her or him right away. Because especially, you know, I know for me personally, some of these karmic issues and relationships have been going on for so long that it's like, oh, well, you know, I've just been evolving alongside of that stuff. But now it's, the timeline is getting shorter, I feel. And that's the message I'm getting, is that the leveling up is happening quicker. Timelines are getting shorter, and you're becoming, you know, that highest version of yourself right now, so that you can help on this, you know, 3D planet. So that's about all I have right now, but I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thank you, Kimberly, and all of you for listening. And please stay in the light and stay grounded. And I guess next up we have Amanda.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda Johnson. I'm an emotional freedom practitioner. Such great information today, right? I am a total prayer and affirmation girl. I get up in the mornings and I say, God, please help me with my vibration today. And sometimes we need some tools to do that. And one of my most favorite tools are affirmations. And my second favorite tool is EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. But what happens when our affirmations feel like they're hitting a wall? Because maybe we're feeling imbalanced, or maybe we're in a state of fear or anxiety. And so the things that we're wanting to put out there, we feel like aren't getting out there, right? In order to bring back as people and experiences and opportunities that feel what we are wanting to be in alignment with. So I'm going to share with you one of my most favorite types of affirmations. And it's awesome because we use that in EFT. And we're going to do a little bit of both. So when I am feeling unstable, or when I'm working with people that are just feeling like they're spinning out, they're unsure, it's uncertain, and we are definitely in an uncertain time, I like to go to even though even though I feel afraid, or even though the unknown feels scary. So we're acknowledging it. Even though I feel this way, I am willing, which then imagine yourself turning completely to a different energy. I am willing to open up to a new way of feeling, a new way of being, a new way of thinking. It's like trying on a new coat, and it feels amazing. So we're going to do some of that with the tapping today. And we're gonna do, a tapping is just tapping with our fingers on the meridian points. We're gonna go into the actual anxieties that you're feeling. I'm gonna be very general, but you can really focus on what you are personally feeling. And EFT is amazing because it's something you can do with yourself, by yourself, on yourself. So it's a great tool, and you can go back and watch all of these exercises again. So if you're not feeling clear after this tapping exercise, you can go back and watch it again and do it again. So we're gonna start with the karate chop point. And this is this fleshy part on your hand. And you can tap it with your other fingers from your other hand. You could do either hand, or you can massage, which that feels really good too, to just take the points and massage them together. So that's what I'm gonna do today because it's feeling good for me. So we're going to tap into, literally, the place in us that feels anxious about the unknown, whatever that is for you. And you're going to say it out loud with me, but you're going to use your own lingo. You're going to use your own words. You're going to tap into your own personal experience. So if I say, even though I feel fearful, you can say, even though I feel fearful of, and then say whatever it is that you're feeling out loud. So here we go. And you'll just follow me through all the points. So massaging these points on our hands and saying out loud, even though I can't see what's up ahead, and that makes me feel anxious, I choose to love and accept myself right here, right where I am. Even though I feel this tension in my body, and go ahead and locate where you feel that tension. Maybe it's your shoulders need to drop. Maybe it's the tightness in your tummy. Sometimes anxiety can feel like a little ball in your belly with teeth. So just locate that feeling in your body. Even though I have this tension, I choose to let it go. And one more time with the setup statement. Even though I may not be able to see what is up ahead, I am willing to trust that there is just enough light for the step I'm on. And we're going to do a round through the tapping points on our negative pattern. So tapping with me on the eyebrow point, this fear of the unknown. And just think about your fear, what it is you're feeling. Side of the eye. I'm afraid of. What are you afraid of? Say it out loud. Underneath the eye. All this tension in my body. All this fear. What's going to happen? Moving underneath the nose. I feel so wound up. Underneath the mouth. I just don't know how it's all going to work out. Collarbone point. I like to use both hands here. It just feels good. Just tapping into and settling into that place in yourself where you are feeling like you're spinning out. You're feeling like the world is overwhelming. It's too heavy. Can't handle it. Just going there for a minute, allowing yourself to acknowledge how you feel. And then choosing to say out loud with me, I release and let it go. I let go of everything I can't control. And moving underneath the arm, right here, just a little bit under your armpit with all your fingers. I release this overwhelming feeling. Top of the head, all of this anxiety in my body. Taking a deep, deep breath here. Settling into your body, allowing that energy to move through, allowing the things to roll off of you. And then we're going to do one positive round. So we've said our even though affirmations. Even though I feel this way, I love it. I love myself. I accept myself. I'm willing to feel differently. And now we're going to imagine just bringing in the stability for ourselves, the guidance that we need. Starting at the eyebrow point again, I know that I can trust myself. Side of the eye, I have so much inner guidance. Underneath the eye, I know that things are unstable and uncertain in the world, but there are treasures in this just for me. Underneath the nose, I'm willing to feel balanced. And just imagine bringing that balance in, like a funnel up above you, just bringing in that balancing energy. Underneath the mouth, and as Carrie was explaining earlier, imagining that beautiful white sparkly light just shimmering down upon you, bringing it in on a cellular level. I'm transforming my body on a cellular level. Collarbone point. Trusting that there's just enough light for the step I'm on. Underneath the arm. It's okay to be a little uncomfortable. It's okay to not know exactly what's going to happen. I trust the process. So just saying your affirmations here. And last point, at the top of the head, I allow all my inner guidance to reach me. And just stop. And again, allow that energy to move through your body. And just imagine that you are rejuvenating, restoring balance, bringing in healing, learning, and just being and feeling good today. So with that, we're going to end, and I'm going to send you on over to Deep.
Thank you, Amanda. Namaste, everyone. So before we release, we need to know what we are holding on to. Yesterday we were having a discussion. It's like we in our unique circumstances think that anything bad that's happening, we are the only ones who are going through it. But if you see over time, you take 2,500 years ago when Jesus and Buddha was alive, or 10,000 years ago when the Ramayana was written, or go back as long as humans have been alive. Even though the technology has changed, even though things have changed, but the human conditioning still remains the same. Whatever people went through, like the blockages, the attachments within the chakras, people have experienced it then, they are experiencing it now, and until we become enlightened, we'll continue to experience that. So as mentioned before, we're constantly in the state of change, state of movement, and movement brings along with it change. Change brings with it two different states. And that was the first teaching of the Buddha. Attachment and aversions. Both of these states causes suffering, which is Buddha's first teaching was there's suffering in the world. The cause of suffering is desire. And desire in the form of attachment and aversion constantly plays a part in what we are holding on to, what we are going through, and anything and everything that's happening. But he also gave different ways to get rid of making peace with suffering, and how to transcend beyond suffering. So let's begin to work on the source of discomfort and figure out a way how we can work through it. So please begin to close your eyes and just find yourself in this moment. Take a few long, deep breaths just to clear your mind and just be neutral. At this moment, just focus on your breath so that you're not thinking about the past, the present, or the future. So now slowly put your consciousness towards the first emotion, the first thought that you might be holding on to. Understand and define that particular thought. Our mind has a tendency to travel constantly and consistently. So without moving from that thought, put more of your energy into that thought and trying to understand the source of what you are feeling. What you might be feeling is any of one of these attachments or any of these blockages within the chakras: fear, guilt, anger, shame, hatred, illusion, attachment. Continue to be with this emotion and go to the source. Where did it come from? Why is it there? Learn from the situation, and rather than focusing in the emotion, getting attached to the emotion, focus on the lesson and the strength that you have gained. We constantly like to remind everyone, your worst experiences are your greatest teachers. So what did this experience teach you? There's certain things which might be very strong for one person to process on their own. If this emotion is still so strong and a solution or a lesson doesn't come by as easy, it's important to share the feelings with someone you trust and hear their perspective. Like we mentioned earlier, whatever you're going through, somebody has already been through, transitioned, and they can share their skills, how they worked through it. So it's important to develop that skill to work with the issues. And then we also have an expression that I'll use it regularly. Fear is the lack of understanding of the unknown. So it's important for you to understand the unknown, accept the unknown, and make peace with the unknown. And now please take one long, deep breath. And you could slowly bring yourself at this moment. You could begin to open your eyes and just take a few seconds to process the thought and to reflect on what needs to be worked on. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Thank you, Deep. Well, we have been holistic. We hope you are happy. And if you'd like any more information of the practitioners here, please visit our website, holistichappyhour.org. Namaste.